Hello, what's this?
That looks like a gun and an ammo case. I want to see what this is. Let's just reach over here and open it. Wait, nothing's in there? Why is there nothing in there? That's weird. Let me check it again. Wait a minute. It still looks like there's a gun in there. How come when I open this thing up, it doesn't look like there's anything in there? But when it's closed, it does look like there's something in there. Let me try again. What? No way. Why is this thing empty? This is a real head scratcher.
I have an idea.
3, 2, 1. Open it! Woohoo! It's a Smith and Wesson CSX. Hot diggity darn. Let's do a happy dance. Do. That's right. I finally was able to grab a Smith and Wesson CSX. Now, they've been available for quite a while, but they were only available in my state for a short period of time. Every time they came up for sale, they got grabbed up very quickly, and they were going for around $600 to $650 in my local area. I was able to find this one lightly used and loved, but not enough for the previous owner to keep it, for $475 with 2 magazines, the box, the paperwork, and everything. So for me, that was the time to buy one of these. I'd been waiting for them to go on sale, and just finding one used for a good deal was all I needed to be able to finally go out and pick one of these up. I had held these a couple of times in the store, but never had I really had the chance to take one apart and look at it. And upon disassembly for cleaning, I started noticing right away how exceptional the machine work is and the parts in this particular gun. This is the takedown lever and the slide stop. And you have this little flag that moves up and down when you move the safety. It moves opposite where the safety goes. So when it's in fire mode, a little flag with an F on it for fire pops up. And you have a full-length metal rail on the top of the frame that the slide rides in. You have the little paddle inside the trigger. It's not exactly a perfectly flat trigger like a Glock would have, but this is a pretty good trigger. It has some pretty aggressive stippling on the back of the frame, which for me is actually a little bit too aggressive. I may end out sanding that down a little bit with some 400 grit just to make it easier to use and carry. The slide serrations on this are more than ample. They're deep, but they're not sharp at all, and it does have that extra little wing on the back of the slide. It does have some nice grooves cut into the top of the barrel. That's to reduce glare. I know Colts used to do that a lot on their pistols. And everything else about this looks just about like what you'd see with a tilting barrel 9mm. So here it is completely taken apart on the bench. You can see the individual components, the captive recoil spring, the barrel, the takedown lever, the slide, and then the lower frame. And I have to say again, the craftsmanship on this is extremely good. You have your standard Smith & Wesson 3-dot white sights, and they're ample. I mean, they're good enough. There's no tritium or anything in them. There's no fiber optics, but it does have dovetail cuts. Now, I have not taken this out and shot it yet, but I have noticed some of the features about it that I do like right out of the gate. This particular firearm, you can clear the gun and load the gun with the safety engaged. A lot of guns you can't do that, so it gives people a lot of peace of mind that they can keep the safety engaged and rack the slide to either load it or to unload it. And here, like most of my other guns, I bought an MDJ holster from eBay. I've tried a couple of different ones. I actually bought a different holster for this gun that was a single clip inside the waistband, and I hated it. It pinched my skin. Every time I look for one, I always go back to MDJ. Now, I've talked about this website before, handgunhero.com, where you can actually look at comparing different handguns. So noting that this is a very new double-stack 9mm subcompact gun, I wanted to see how it compared in size to a couple of my other daily carries that I've had and that I've talked about before. So I'm comparing in this first one the Smith & Wesson CSX to the Shield Generation 1, which I've had for several years, and I've carried a lot and shot a lot, and I can shoot it pretty well. So here on this website, you can see the length, the width, the height. If you scroll down a little bit on the page, you can see a side-by-side comparison from various different views. If you want to see up, out, in, or back, you can actually see them side by side. And then if you further scroll down on the page, you can actually see them overlaid on top of each other. So you can make one opaque and see the differences in the frame and the trigger guard and everything else like that. So let's grab another comparison here to the CSX. Let's use the Ruger LC9S, which again is another gun that I carry all the time. You can see the Ruger is a little bit narrower, but again, that's only a 7 or a 9 shot capacity. And then if we scroll down again, we can see them side by side. You can see the Ruger has a very different trigger housing and everything else like that on it. But again, comparable size, almost the same height and width, or height and length and things like that, but the width is a little bit less on the Ruger. So let's try one more comparison to another Ruger gun that may or may not be seen soon on my channel, and it is the Ruger Max 9. Again, you can see very comparable size, and in this particular case, it's an even better comparison because the CSX and the Max 9 are both double stack 10 round or 12 or 13 round guns. Again, being in a banned state that I am in, I can only get 10 round magazines. But there's just a little bit of an overview of my Smith and Wesson CSX. This is one of those things that I said in the beginning of the year I wanted to get. It's halfway through the year and I was finally able to purchase one. I'm very happy to have it. You will see this very soon in a range trip. Thanks for watching.